Greetings to all my people out there in virtual reality. I am Oba Omi, and this is your latest episode of Oba Omi Says. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for post notifications so you can keep up with everything going on here at Oba Omi Says. First and foremost, I would like to go ahead and get into our housekeeping. Firstly, keep in mind that it's almost the end of the first quarter, so if you would like to schedule a year reading from Mary D. Lagoon to issue with me to see the energy of how all your quarters would go ahead and email me. Reach out to me at any of the links in the description, my website, my email, any of my social medias, and schedule a year reading with me first and foremost. Secondly, I said this before, but I've been telling you guys that I'm getting ready to start over on Station Head, just getting some things together. So keep that in mind. My Oba Omi channel is already available on Station Head. It's Oba Omi Says. You can go ahead and look me up and follow me. So when I get ready to start, you guys will be able to go ahead and just tune right into whatever I'm doing. But I'm just gearing things up and getting everything ready for Station Head. So you guys go ahead and follow me over there on Station Head. And lastly, the chapters for this episode are in the description. All the different articles, all the different things are already separated in the description. So if you don't have time to watch the entire podcast all at once, you can always pick and choose the different things that you would like to watch that interest you, so that you can be abreast of what's going on over here at Oba Omi Says. So this week, guys, it was kind of a slow news week. It was a lot of world and U.S. news going on, but kind of a slow week for celebrities. But there were some things, some interesting pop culture things, some interesting things in the entertainment world. So we're going to get into all that. But hold on and stick in with us today. Hold tight, because we're getting ready to go on our ride for this episode of Oba Omi Says. Alright guys, so first up on Oba Omi Says, we have our pop culture and entertainment news. Now for me, it was kind of a slow week for pop culture and entertainment news, but this was also an interesting week in the aspect that a lot of the pop culture, entertainment, celebrity news that I saw was featuring most of our women. So this is the ladies edition of our pop culture and entertainment news, celebrity news. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on in the celebrity world and see what's going on with celebrity news. So first up, we have a jury rejects Sarah Palin's lawsuit against the New York Times. So former Alaskan Governor Sarah Palin lost her libel lawsuit against the New York Times on Tuesday when a jury rejected her claim that the newspaper maliciously damaged her reputation by erroneously linking her campaign rhetoric to a mass shooting. A judge had already declared that if the jury sided with Palin, he would set aside its verdict on the grounds that she hadn't proved the paperwork acted maliciously, something required in libel suits involving public figures. Asked about the verdict as she left the Manhattan courthouse, Palin said, "Of course we're disappointed," adding she hoped that there would be an appeal. She also praised her two lawyers. "There were three of us versus a monstrous team of New York Times, and we did well," she said, "doing all they can to make sure the little guy has a voice, the underdog can have their say." The little guy, the underdog, that's a bit much, Sarah Palin. You didn't have to go to that extent. But I will say, in aspect of looking at all the governors and politicians, Sarah Palin may be a little guy or an underdog. So I'll give that to her. But yeah, I don't even know what shooting they're talking about. I don't know anything about this, but obviously Sarah Palin is still losing out here in these streets. You know, she lost with Mitt Romney or whoever she ran with that time when she ran for, she ran with that really old man, I think. I can't even remember his name. I think he died too. Oh my gosh, that's how much I keep up with politics, you guys. Like, I really don't pay them any mind. But that's what's going on with Sarah Palin, you guys. Tell me what you guys think. Do you all think that Sarah Palin should have had a different verdict? Do you all think that them using her campaign rhetoric was connected to the mass shooting or not? Do you agree with the jury not siding with her? Let me know what you all think about this whole Sarah Palin situation in the comments. Moving right on along, we have Pole star Rodriguez to receive GLAAD Media Awards honor. So Pole star Michaela J, or MJ Rodriguez, will be honored at the GLAAD Media Awards for her efforts to advance acceptance in the LGBTQ people of color. For them, Rodriguez, the first transgender woman to receive a lead actress Emmy nomination, will receive the Stephen F. Kozak Award given to LGBTQ media professionals who counter anti-LGBTQ bias. Michaela J. Rodriguez is an undeniable talent who is changing the way audiences understand trans people while breaking down barriers for the trans community and LGBTQ people of color within the entertainment industry. GLAAD President and CEO Sarah K. Ellis said in a statement. Rodriguez, who earned a Golden Globe Award for her role as Blanca on Pose, stars in Netflix's Lin-Manuel's Miranda-directed film Tick Tick Boom and is to appear with Maya Rudolph in the announced Apple TV series Loot. She also has an upcoming album release. All right, Blanca. All right, MJ. So MJ Rodriguez is making big moves out here in these streets for her community, and we definitely want to acknowledge her strides and just highlight the things of people who are different being able to at least advance and achieve different things in this world. It's good to see that, at least in the media, that there's some level of fairness happening. There may be hidden agendas behind these things, allegedly, as people will say. But, at the end of the day, I think it's very good that somebody's getting their voice out there and that there's being representations of all the different types of beings that we have here on television and out for people to at least experience that. So it's not as much as a shock to people. And a lot of people are different. While people might consider trans people extremely different and unusual and rare, if you are a person of color, you have to think back to that time that you was surrounded by all Caucasian people and they was looking at you the same way. So kind of use that empathy and remember that when you think about people that are different. You're not in anyone's mind or in anybody's spirit to actually know what it is that they think or what it is that they're going through. So the best thing we can all do is have understanding for all the people around us, no matter how you feel or what you think may be going on. It's not for any person to judge. It's just for you to accept what is. When a rainstorm hits or when a tornado or a massive weather disaster hits, it happens and you can't do nothing but deal with it. So deal with it. All the people that's mad. But anyways, congratulations to MJ Rodriguez. And moving right on along, we're going to move on to the next part where Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes are scheduled to host the Oscars. After 3 years without a host, the Oscars are making up for lost times with 3 hosts for this year's awards. Amy Schumer, Regina Hall, and Wanda Sykes are set to be the 94th Academy Awards producer to host the 94th Academy Award. Producer Will Packer said Tuesday. This year's show is all about uniting movie lovers, Packer said in a statement. It's apropos that we've lined up 3 of the most dynamic, hilarious women with very different comedic styles. Packer has worked with Hall several times as the producers of films like Girls Trip, Think Like a Man, and Little. The show is hoping to rebound from the dismal viewership of last year's broadcast, which was both an all-time low and the norm for pandemic-era award shows. In addition to bringing back starry hosts and bumping the Best Picture nominees to a set 10, the Academy is also hoping to spike interest through social media voting for a fan favorite movie that will be announced during the show, as well as a chance to win a trip to Los Angeles for the ceremony. So, I hate to say it, Oscars, but Regina King, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes is not going to be enough, I think, to get y'all viewership up. I don't really think people are into these award shows anymore because people are tired of being judged so rigidly by these basically fictitious institutions that claim to be the authorities on these things. I mean, I'm sure, I don't even know who picks the Oscar winners. I don't even know how it's chosen. I know, like with the Grammys, they have a committee of people, and they have the people that are part of the Grammys, the actual Grammys organization, vote for those people. So I know it's politics to it, and there's no telling what goes on behind the scenes. So I think people are just tired of it, even with Billboard and a lot of these entities that, you know, allegedly are the authorities on this and that when it comes to entertainment. I don't know if this now, congratulations to all of them for this prestigious honor of hosting, but at the same time, I don't think the Oscars are gonna get much more viewership. They might. I mean, if they have a whole bunch of hip hop artists like the NFL did for the Super Bowl, because they had many more viewers this year than they've had in a while. But I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Are y'all into award shows anymore, or are they just a bunch of baloney to you like they are to me? I don't know. Like, you know, I'm not into it. I'm not gonna watch the Oscars, just like I didn't watch the Super Bowl, just like I didn't watch any other award shows. I think I did for the MTV Video Awards. I think I watched Normani's performance on YouTube. I wasn't really interested. These award shows are just a joke to me, personally. Not to say that I would never attend one in the future if they give me a free ticket or if I'm nominated for an award, but it's not gonna make or break me. But you know, I think it's all for entertainment. It's all done for entertainment purposes, obviously, like we know. And is Will Packer producing this? Like, Will Packer better do his thing, I guess. But you know, Will Packer is interesting because, you know, my girl Monique don't really mess with him, so, you know, and she revealed some things about him and Tyler Perry, so, you know, I'm kind of like, you know, I support Will Packer, but at the same time, I do kind of look at him with a little bit of a raised eyebrow, a little bit, so, but he's doing his thing for the Oscars. I don't know why he's speaking for this. Maybe he's producing it or something, I don't know. But you guys tell me if you all are going to watch the Oscars and if you all are excited about these three hosts in the comments. Moving right on along to our next topic. So, Nicki Minaj has had some interesting things going on. So, the Philadelphia Health Department jokingly throws shade at Nicki Minaj's COVID-19 tweet. Who knew the Philadelphia Public Health Department doubled as a Twitter troll? Well, actually, let me talk about another thing. She claps back also at the Philadelphia Health Department and says they're using fear tactics to push COVID-19. So she responded. So, you know, Philadelphia's Public Health Department is posting Nicki Minaj tweets for engagement. They are attempting to shame people for advising others to pray, be comfortable, and not be bullied. I've never seen a vaccine trigger this much amount of shaming and fear tactics. That's what Nicki Minaj had said. So let's look a little bit more about how she clapped back. So she's responded to the Philadelphia Public Health Department take on her viral COVID-19 vaccine tweet. Philadelphia's public health account is posting Nicki Minaj's tweet for engagement. So I just talked about that. She also has replied to a fan who said they would not get vaccinated and is starting to believe the conspiracy theorists after seeing the health department's tweet. Good job, guys. You just convinced more people to not get the vaccine. You want them to get. Yay. Nicki wrote the health department, adding, YTF, won't you just get off my testicles? So, you guys, who knew that these health departments would be so petty? Like, that's interesting to me. I can't believe they even did all that. Now, they said it all started on February 16th when she tweeted, without context, nothing like watching someone speak confidently about something they know nothing about. And then the Philadelphia Health Department threw a bit of shade with an eyes emoji as well as a screenshot of a tweet Nicki shared in September 2021. The then viral post recalled an unfortunate side effect on COVID-19 vaccine a friend of the rapper's Trinidadian cousin allegedly experienced. My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend, you all know what she said. So, you know, and the whole situation about the Met Gala and everything, so they're in an uproar about it, and Nicki's asking them to get off her testicles or ovaries for people that might be offended by her saying her testicles. But, you know, this is just... And, you know, of course, Anthony Fauci had invalidated her claims and everything. So this is just crazy, y'all. I can't believe the health departments are going back and forth with public figures about this in public. Like, it's like, how petty can you be? Like, you know, I thought that the health profession should have remained autonomous and stayed, you know, if they felt that all this is real and everything that they're saying, they should have took the Michelle Obama approach of when they go low, we go high, or we go high when they go low. Like, you know, I would have thought the health profession would have been professional enough to keep that in mind. But I guess they're scared because Nicki Minaj is a public figure and her word means a lot of things to a lot of people. But at the same time, I think people that were going to do it, they were going to do it. And the people that weren't either way. Despite of what Nicki Minaj said, I think the people who thought how she thought was thinking that anyway and wasn't going to deal with it. And the people that didn't, they was going to go ahead and get it. So, I don't know, y'all. I'm just very disappointed in Philadelphia Health Department for being that petty. Very disappointed, and it makes me take the health industry, the healthcare and medicine industry, a lot less serious when they get involved in things like this. It makes it seem like it's all a joke, and it's all just for showing for them to try to, you know, not get people to do different things because they're sitting up here instead of actually showing us real experimentation, real, like, breaking these things down to a basic level for the layman to understand. They rather go back and forth with Nicki Minaj on Twitter. That's a shame, you guys. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this. Do you all think the Philadelphia Health Department is petty? And do y'all agree with Nicki Minaj clapping back at them either way? Let me know what you all think about this in the comments. And for our last topic, we have Cardi B calls out Candace Owens for calling her uneducated. Says the commentator tried to sue her with no case. Conservative commentator Candace Owens reignited her feud with Cardi B during an appearance on the Full Send podcast. Conservative commentator basically got into she reignited her feud and she aimed it at the rapper in her appearance on that podcast. And she said, it's incredible how uneducated she is. She just got embarrassed on Twitter, Owens said of Cardi. She was just saying stuff about politics and I was just responding. I wasn't even being rude. I was just telling, like, she literally doesn't even know what country she's in, how the country works. You know, she's hardly, you know, when she types, there's 87 typos and basic words. And yet, same thing, she's mouthing off and saying things, and she literally doesn't understand. Like, I don't even think she understands, like, Congress has a Senate and a House of Representatives. She has no idea what she's talking about. In response to the clip posted on the Neighborhood Talks Instagram page on Thursday, February 17th, Cardi B fired back at Owens, writing, "What's embarrassing is that she tried to get her lawyers to make me do a public apology after she'd been attacking me for months and try to make me pay her $75K in a month, or she threatened to sue with no case. Like, how smart are you and you don't even know the law?" So... And they've been going back and forth for a long time, you guys. This goes all the way back to 2020. So, you guys, I'm over both of them. Like, you know. But I guess Candace Owens needed some hype, so she needs to mention Cardi B. Cardi B fell for the bait. You know, Cardi B doesn't particularly need any hype, so I don't know why she falls for all the bait that's thrown at her. But hey, she fell for it. Candace Owens got her. She's getting her clicks. She's getting her likes. She's getting her repost. So I don't know if she's about to drop a book or an album or something, or she's trying to get another commentator job. But she did that thing. You did that, Candace. So apparently she's a little smart, Cardi, because she got you in your feelings to the point that you had to say something to her. So, but I mean, hey, by all means, you got that right, Cardi. Get her together. You get what I'm saying? Get her. You know, if that's how you feel. So, this is just an interesting situation, but not one that I really follow. But it's in the news for the week, so I decided to let you guys know about it. Personally, I don't really care. I don't really follow Candace Owens. Of course, I know Cardi B from, like, you know, pop culture. So, but, you know, it is what it is. So, what do you guys think about this? Whose side are you on? Are you team Candace Owens or are you team Cardi B when it comes to this feud? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Alright guys, moving right on along to From the Gram and Twitter. We're going to take a look and see what's going on in the Instagram and Twitter world. So first up, we have Zendaya with all the Euphoria girls. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with the show Euphoria on HBO, but I really like the show. This is a picture with Zendaya, who is an executive producer of the show, and of course everybody pretty much knows Zendaya. A lot of people know her, and this is her featured right here with a picture of all the girls that are in the main cast. We have Cassie, we have Kat, we have Cassie's younger sister, which I can't remember her name right now. We have Jules, we have Maddie, and we have Rue, which is Zendaya's character. So I really like this picture of them. There's actually a few other pictures in this post, so you guys have to really catch on and, go check out our Instagram to see it. Now, there's a lot of things, like a lot of rumors in the rumor mill about the show Euphoria. It's so many things. It's a buzz topic. Some people like it, some people don't. But it can be a pretty out there show. I'm enjoying it. I think it's different. And I think in a lot of ways it does reflect the reality of a lot of high school students nowadays. So kudos to Zendaya. She and all the lovely ladies of Euphoria look beautiful in this picture. So kudos to Zendaya. And we'll go ahead and move on to our next post. So next we're going to go over to the Twitter world, and we're going to take a look at this post by Rockmond Dunbar, who reposted an article of him leaving the show 911 over COVID vaccine mandates after pursuing medical and religious exemptions. So apparently he left the show because, the executives at his show did not approve him for a medical and religious exemption for COVID-19. So he left, and apparently, well, maybe I shouldn't say apparently, maybe I should say allegedly, he's suing the executive production company and basically saying, suing them for discrimination against his exemptions. So this is interesting, you guys. I am really going to follow this story closely because it's a lot going on in the production world. And I know because I work in film and television production as well as audiovisual. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with him suing, because I've been on some sets and they really are invasive to me by asking for your medical records and all your testing and all this stuff, and in some instances requiring vaccination, which they feel is a measure to help keep the safety of all the people on set. But requiring people's medical records for whatever they're going to use it for, I guess just to see if you're positive or negative for COVID-19, but I just kind of think that's a bit invasive and is asking for a little bit too much. What next are they going to ask for? Blood samples or a limb? Just to get on set to work. So I kind of stand in agreement with Rockmond Dunbar. I do feel like it's discrimination. But at the same time, I also can empathize with the executives for trying to do everything they can to keep everybody safe on set. So, it's an interesting situation, but I still stand on Rockmond Dunbar's side, and I will be following this story very closely to see what the outcome of this will be. And last but not least, we have Omeratta the Great explaining what's not Atlanta and what is Atlanta. She says, sorry, not sorry. So I want you guys to take a listen to a snippet of her new song, Sorry, Not Sorry, and take a listen to it right here.
Subject ain't gonna beat around the bush. Answer this, you say you from the A, right? Where's I know you from? What hood did you live? What hospital bed were you born? Look, I know it sound crazy, but I'm a A baby. I gotta start pulling for card. We had to live in this zoo where you don't make it out, so I don't give a fuck what they say. Look, if you niggas ain't grow up in APS system, you bitches is not from the A. And you from Gwinnett, nigga, up that perpetrated step back. Talking about you from the outskirts, could've killed that. Rep where you from and don't rep where you home. No air false claim around the world, know they felt that. Earned out my stripes and I got my respect. The whole city know I'm a beast. Look, if you not from this side and you don't know the facts, just chill and repeat after me. Call that part, it's not not Atlanta. No, it's not Atlanta. Lithonia, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Clayco, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Decatur, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Gwinnett, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Roswell, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Fort Paul, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Lynburn, it's not Atlanta. Look, the North, it's not Atlanta. No. The South, it's not Atlanta. No. You niggas, it's not Atlanta. No. You bitches, it's not Atlanta.
All right, guys. So as you can see, a lot of people who thought they was Atlanta are not Atlanta. And for people that have been to Atlanta and that know anything about Atlanta, they would know that Atlanta technically is not that big. If we look at statistics, Atlanta only has about the city of Atlanta only has about maybe 500,000 people. There are some unincorporated areas of Atlanta, which is unincorporated Fulton County, but they hold an Atlanta address. So I saw in the comments there's a lot of technicalities that people are bringing up. Like, for instance, people from like College Park and East Point are saying, well, on my address, I can put Atlanta and people put Atlanta all the time. So what is she talking about? So people mad about that. And then you have some other people who are saying, well, why is she at Truist Park? Which is technically has an Atlanta address, but everybody knows that's from Atlanta or from that area knows that that's Smyrna, Cobb County. So people are like, she's kind of hypocritical talking about what's Atlanta and what's not while she's at Truist Park. But technically, Truist Park does have an Atlanta address, even though it is Cobb County, Smyrna area, and the Cobb County Police definitely regulate that area. So that's an interesting topic. Also, there was the comment about her saying if you didn't grow up in the APS, Atlanta Public School systems, then you're not from Atlanta. Even though people have brought up the fact that there are other school systems like the Fulton County school system, which Atlanta is in Fulton County, that has Atlanta addresses, but they're not a part of the Atlanta Public School system. So some people are in their feelings, some people are a little upset, but I personally think this song is fire. Omeratta said what she said. She obviously did this because she knew y'all was gonna get y'all panties in a bunch. And, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So, keep all those things in mind. But everybody go out and support Omeratta the Great. I'm really going to be following her a lot more because I really like her flow. I like her style. She's an Atlanta A-Town legend in the making, and I respect her. And my thing is yeah, boo, you should have probably, thought about those technicalities like the Truist Park and the APS thing, but I still feel everything that you're saying. But also too, so people don't have to feel that bad about feeling some kind of way about it. Don't feel mad about Atlanta not being from Atlanta. Atlanta is not that big of a city in comparison to other major cities population wise, And though they say it's 7 million people in Atlanta, or 6 million, or however many they say, I think they say like 6 million or something like that. That's actually incorporating Metro Atlanta, which is all the areas that she talked about that wasn't Atlanta. They include that in that calculation. And I'm talking about all of Fulton County, most of the surrounding counties like DeKalb, like Clayton County, like Gwinnett County, and all those places. But I still stand in agreement. Clayco is not Atlanta. It's not. But anyways, y'all check out Omeratta the Great, and you all let me know what you think about all these posts from the Gram and Twitter universe about Zendaya, about the Rockmond Dunbar situation, and about Omeratta the Great. Tell me what you guys think about all these different posts in the comments. All right, you guys, we're gonna move right on along to our music news releases and also our charts. Billboard charts, that is. We're going to review the charts and see what's going on with that. So, guys, this week for singles, I didn't really see a whole lot that I would be personally interested in, but there were a few singles that I would like to highlight. Alice Glass released her single, Everybody Else. Ed Sheeran and Bring Me the Horizons released Bad Habit. That was another pretty good single that came out. Jack Harlow released Nail Tech. That was an interesting single that came out this week. Kid Cudi and Nigo released it Want It Bad. So that was an interesting single. And also Lucky Day featuring Lil Durk released NWA. So that was another interesting single that came out. But you guys, really, it was a whole lot of Vic Mensa came out with Vino Valentino too this week. So, this past week. So it wasn't a whole lot of movement this week for the singles. Wasn't a whole lot of movement for everything. So, it was interesting. And even with the albums, I find that it wasn't really that much that came out either this past Friday or that's coming out over the week. I know one thing, Kanye is releasing Donda 2 allegedly on some type of STEM system that costs $200 on February 22nd. So that's coming up this week coming up. And some other things that came up was, Hotels by Jasmine Sullivan just came out on the 19th. Not too much. It is a few things coming out on the 22nd. Not really anything. Lil Durk is coming out too on the 22nd with his album 7220, or however he says it, 7,220. I don't know exactly how he says it. So that's some interesting things coming out album wise. More so, I know I bought up Kanye and Lil Durk already, but some more that's coming out as far as hip hop. We got Sada Baby coming out. Just came out recently with Bartier Bounty. Number 3, Sada Baby came out with that. Big Crit, Digital Roses Don't Die. Nick Cannon, Raw and B, the explicit tape. So he just came out with that. And then we got Currency and The Alchemist, The Continuance. So we got some interesting things that came out, but to me, this was kind of a slow music week. 42 Doug is coming out soon, so I'll talk about that on the next episode. But those are some interesting album and single releases that are out for the week. So let's go ahead and talk about Billboard for this week. So there was a little bit of interesting movement in some aspects, no movement at all on the Billboard charts. So let's first off take a look at the Hot 100 singles for the week. We're going to highlight some of the top 10, see what's going on. So we don't talk about Bruno once again. And Kanto coming for the kids, they're still out here. But we have a new contender this week at number 2. We have Do We Have a Problem by Nicki Minaj and Lil Baby. Came all the way up to number 2 this week on the Billboard charts. Still the undisputed queen of rap, Nicki Minaj. So she knocked Adele on down to number 3, Easy on Me. So Adele, she's been here forever. So it's like, we tired of Easy on Me. But it's still in the top 10. She's still doing her thing. We got Heat Wave by Glass Animals went down to number 4. Ooh, I didn't realize Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber got knocked down to number 5 with Stay. So Nicki kind of knocked everybody on down. Everybody actually went down in the top 10 with the exception of, I get down there to a second. We got Super Gremlin has moved down to number 6 this week. Kodak Black. Gail, she's kind of falling a little bit in the U.S. Hot 100 singles charts. ABCDEFU at number 7. Got Ed Sheeran moved down this week with Shivers. And we got a new contender back up in the top 10. Ghost by Justin Bieber is up at number 9. And Surface Pressure by Jessica Darrow moving down to number 10. And then everybody else is kind of, Doja Cat had moved down this week. Lil Nas X moved up in the top 20 a little bit. Gunna Pushing P moved down. Elton John and Dua Lipa have moved down. Dua Lipa by herself, The Weeknd, they're kind of moving down. So, but another Encanto single actually is in the top 20. So we got some interesting movement on the Hot 100. Let's take a look at our Billboard 200 albums. Top 200 albums. So Encanto, of course, is still number 1 for albums. So that is something that's interesting. Encanto been 11 weeks at number 1 on the chart. DS Forever by Gunna moved back up to number 2. So I guess Gunna's getting back a little bit popular for the Billboard 200 albums, and I kind of still think it's just Nicki Minaj bringing hip-hop back on the map. So Gunna kind of moved up. She ain't got no album out right now, so they're just going for Gunna right now. We have a new contender on the top albums. At number 3, we got Yo Gotti with CM10 Free Game. So Yo Gotti is a new contender on the Billboard 200 albums at number 3. Dangerous, The Double by Morgan Wallen is holding it down at number 4. We have another new contender that just entered, Laurel Hill by Mitski, that I did talk about, that came out the other week. That came up to number 5, started at number 5. Dawn FM is moving down to number 6. Drake's holding it down at number 7 with Certified Lover Boy still up there. We got The Weeknd Highlights still at number 8. Adele 30 is moving down, you guys. You guys getting tired of Adele? She moved down to number 9 this week. And Doja Cat with Planet Her moved down to number 10 on the 200 albums. So we still got a lot going on with that. So we have some interesting things. Korn entered this week in the top 20. And we still got a few people still up here. We still got Kid Laroi in the top 20. We got Lil Baby in the top 20. Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo. Young Boy, he dropped several points, but he's still in the top 20 for Colors, his album. So, you know, we got that interesting thing going on the Billboard 200 albums. So let's look at the Billboard 200 global singles. So we're back to singles, the global singles. We still got We Don't Talk About Bruno at number 1 globally. Gayle, she's still up globally, even though she kind of moved down in the US, but ABCDEFU is up to number 2. Heat Waves, now that's all these, actually, most of the global chart has stayed the same. 1 through 6, I would say. We still got Heat Waves by Glass Animals, still number 3. Cold Heart, Elton John, Dua Lipa, still number 4. Stay, Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber, still number 5. We got the Enemy, Imagine Dragons, still number 6. But we have a new global top 10. Nicki Minaj, Lil Baby, Do We Have a Problem, entering the global charts. Single 200s at number 7. Shivers by Ed Sheeran is holding it down at number 8. But then we got Adele moving down number 9 globally. So I guess Adele 30 is kind of easing on down, but she had a good run. Surface Pressure by Jessica Darl also moved down in the global singles to number 10. And then we still got some people, everybody's still moving down, like Gunna moved down. He's been moving down in the global singles. Ed Sheeran, Lil Nas X, they moved down. The Weeknd and Ariana, they moved down. So yeah, we got some interesting movement in the global 200 singles. And let's take a look at the Artist 100. What's going on in the Artist 100? So even though Dawn FM has kind of gone down, the highlights are still up, but The Weeknd is still number 1 on the Artist 100. Adele might be getting a little less popular, but she's still number 2 in the Artist 100. Ed Sheeran, still holding down number 3, Artist 100. We got Doja Cat at number 4. Lil Baby has moved up on the Artist 100, so that's interesting. Lil Baby has moved up. Drake, he's number 5, Lil Baby. Drake is holding down the number 6 spot on the Artist 100. Taylor Swift moved down to number 7 in the top 10. And Mitski is a new contender that just entered the Artist 100 at number 8. We got Morgan Wallen and Luke Combs at number 9 and 10. So we got some interesting movement. Yo Gotti is number 18 in the top 20, you guys. He's a re-entry. And Korn just re-entered too, but we still got kind of stable top 20. Everybody's kind of still sticking around. Oh yeah, another thing I did want to mention too about a new album release that I forgot to mention. Silk Sonic is coming out with a new album too, and I just wanted to also highlight that. I'm not the biggest Silk Sonic fan, but I do think that they're a popular group, so I didn't want to not mention them, and Avril Lavigne as well. So we got some interesting things going on. She's coming out with a new album this week coming up. So we got some interesting things going on in the world of music, but still kind of slow this week coming up. So tell me what I missed, you guys. Let me know what you all are listening to, because I might not have caught everything that catches your eye. So let me know what you guys are planning on looking at or listening to, what new videos are coming out that you guys are listening to. Let me know what's going on in the music world for you in the comments. Alright, you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and move right on along to our new television and film releases for the week, and we're gonna start off in the film world. So before I get to the new film releases for the week, let's talk a little bit about a review. So Channing Tatum and his dog co-star raised the woof, as they said in the Associated Press. So something would have had to go very wrong for Dog, the movie Dog, you guys, not to work on a basic level. Pairing Channing Tatum, one of our most likable leading men, with a dog in a road trip two-hander is probably the closest you can get to a guaranteed win in Hollywood. This is also a project that was born out of utter sincerity in the wreckage of a few years wasted on a squash superhero movie. Tatum and his longtime producing partner, Reed Carolyn, put their heads together to make something small, something meaningful, something they could do by themselves, and something that they would want to see in a movie theaters. And Dog was born, with both Tatum and Carolyn making their directorial debuts. In addition to directing, Tatum plays former U.S. Army Ranger Jackson Briggs, who is a lost soul when not in deployment. His day job making sandwiches at Subway type fast casual restaurant isn't exactly giving him life, and all he wants is to get back overseas. There he feels he has a purpose, but though he has the motivation, he needs a recommendation too, and his superior is not budging on that. So that's kind of the first premises to Dog, the little premises on it. It's a PG-13 movie, you guys. I think it's something that, I probably won't check out, but it's getting a lot of buzz, or it seems like they're trying to promote it. I don't know what it actually made at the box office. I know last week, for Valentine's week, they did this kind of small release of Magic Mike at a lot of selected theaters around the country too. So Channing Tatum had a nice week because he had Dog then that Friday. Then a little bit after that, he had the situation with Magic Mike. So are you guys gonna check out Dog? I'm not really into, I used to like stuff like Homeward Bound, but I'm not really a big fan of those types of movies, so I'm probably not gonna check it out. But they're trying to push it, you guys. Is anybody going to see Dog? You guys let me know what you all think about the new Channing Tatum movie in the comments. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the new movie releases are for this week that have just came out. So we got Studio 666. Sounds interesting. Serrano. Butter. The Godfather had a 50-year limited theater release that came out. Bema Mike Nyack. That sounds like an interesting movie. Let Me Be Me. Big Gold Brick. I'll Find You. Gasoline Alley. The Desperate Hour. What else do we have? Jack Brothers. Servants. Ghani. The Burning Sea. And Family Squares. So I'm not gonna lie, guys. A lot of these movies looked boring for the week. I know Lady Sings the Blues had another 50th year anniversary at select theaters. It's some other movies that came out too, but those were the only ones that caught my eye. Seems like a boring movie release week. You guys gotta let me know what you guys are gonna go check out. I don't think it's a very big week for the big screen or, Netflix and all that stuff. So that's what's going on. They're trying to push Dog because I guess maybe Spider-Man and all that stuff is still up. Because, they've been number one for a while. Probably Encanto and all these other things too. So, that's what's going on in the movie world, you guys. Let me know what you guys are going to check out. Or if I missed anything for the week, let me know what you all think about all those releases. Now, moving right on along to our television news, I saw 2 interesting articles this week about TV, and I wanted to see what you guys think about it. So our first article is, a TV study was done, and LGBTQ characters rise in numbers with streaming. So the LGBTQ representation on scripted TV series has grown along with the footprint of streaming services, according to an annual study by the advocacy group GLAAD. TV is leading entertainment and telling LGBTQ stories, Sarah K. Ellis, president and CEO of GLAAD, said in the Where We Are on TV report. On the 2021-2022 season that was released Thursday, in recognition of increased number and profile of streaming services, the study added 5 relative newcomers to the trio: Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix, included in previous GLAAD diversity tallies. Broadcast networks and cable channels are part of the study, which also looks at broadcast representation of women, people of color, and those with disabilities. Netflix, which has consistently topped its streaming competitors in LGBTQ inclusivity, according to GLAAD, ranked first again with 155 regular scene or recurring characters on its original comedy and drama series. All right, guys, so this is an interesting subject because, you know, especially in the quote-unquote black community, you find all your meatheads and your hyper-masculine wannabe alpha males always talking about, you know, oh, they're trying to put LGBTQ and gay people on TV because they're trying to affect the children and all this other type of stuff and turn everybody gay and all this other type of stuff that they say. But, you know, ultimately they act like TVs have to be turned on or Netflix has to be bought or cable has to be bought. But they're constantly spending money on cable and all this stuff, but they want to get mad because of what's on there. Now, personally, I don't think that it's any more or less of that. I think now more things represent actual life. And then too, you know, it's a big issue. This is an epidemic of just people living double lives and secretly doing things like when it comes to their sexuality, like, you know, they're cheating on their partners, involving themselves in all kinds of, you know, I guess you can say, just probably not the best sexual practices and deceit and, you know, all kinds of deviance, if you will, because of society. But, you know, it seems as if television to me is trying to represent real life. I don't think that there's any more of showing of LGBTQ characters or relations than it is relations of any other type of people. Like, you know, I just think, you know, it's a hot buzz topic and just something for people to be mad about. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not a producer. I'm not a producer of current shows, but I do produce television and movie things. But in my opinion, you know, if I were to write anything, it would just reflect real life and the life that I live. And I think they're giving those people opportunities now because it just reflects, I guess, more so of what's really going on in the real world. So, you know, that's just my take on it. I know a lot of people really feel very strongly that the LGBTQ representation they have right now is doing whatever and turning people however, but that's just not how I feel. But, I mean, I respect whoever feels that way. You know, I would suggest that you don't invest in watching TV, but they stay watching TV. I don't understand. I don't get how that works, so, you know, but hopefully they'll come to grips with whatever personal issues they have, probably with themselves, as to why they have so many issues with that. But, you know, that's that. You guys let me know what you all think about that in the comments. Do you think that LGBTQ representation is necessary? Do you think it's actually been done correctly? Or do you think that it's programming people to, you know, be different than whatever people consider normal? Which people's consideration of normal is not really even normal. But anyways, moving right on along to our next article that I saw. That was another interesting article for television news. Atlanta To end with season 4, Donald Glover has no regrets. Now, I actually was a model in the season 2 promo of Atlanta. I modeled for the cover shoot. I might actually put it up on screen so you guys can see it. It was a couple of different things where I did it, so I'll definitely let you guys know where it was. But Donald Glover has no regrets, so let's see what they're talking about with this. There won't be a long wait for 4th season of FX's Atlanta, but it will be the last. The Emmy-winning series created by Donald Glover, which begins its 3rd season on March 24th, will be back in the fall to wrap up the story of Glover's music manager Earn, rapper Paperboy, which is Brian Tyree Henry, in their circle, FX said Thursday. There was a big gap between season 2, which concluded in May 2018, and this season because of scheduling conflicts that delayed production, FX said previously. But the final 2 seasons have both been shot. On Thursday, Glover said he has no regrets about wrapping the series. To be honest, I wanted to end it after season 2, he said during a Q&A with TV critics. Death is natural. When the conditions are right for something, they happen. And when the conditions aren't right for it, they don't happen. I feel like the story was always supposed to be what it was, Glover said. The upcoming 10-episode season is largely set in Europe with Earn, Alfred as Paperboy, Darius, Lakeith Stanfield, and Van Zazie Beetz on tour. Episodes will be available on Hulu after debuting on FX, with past seasons also on streaming service. So guys, it's been a good run for Atlanta, you know what I mean? I definitely was grateful to have been a model in the season 2 promo photo shoot, where I actually got to meet pretty much all the main cast because they was all there. It was fun. I definitely liked the show because I think, Donald Glover, my Libra brother, he did a very good job at kind of showing the quirkiness of Atlanta that people don't often see, and also highlighting kind of a typical story of a lot of people that are from here and that live here, trying to make it in the city. So I appreciated the series Atlanta, and I am definitely going to check out the last 2 seasons. You guys, what are you all going to do? Are you going to watch the final 2 seasons of Atlanta and celebrate the going away of Atlanta? Let me know what you all think about the series Atlanta and it ending in the comments. And last but not least, for our television news, we have our new releases coming up for the week. So on Sunday, we got The Walking Dead premiering on AMC at 9 o'clock. We have another series called From premiering on Epix. So that's going to be interesting. Also, there's an Abraham Lincoln series, documentary kind of situation coming on the History Channel at 8 p.m. on Sunday. LBJ, Triumph and Tragedy, also on CNN. So that's going to be interesting, you guys. All-American Homecoming on the CW. American Song Contest on NBC. Both of those are coming out on Monday, the February 21st. The Endgame, 10 p.m. on NBC. Black Patriots, Heroes of the Civil War, coming out Monday on the 21st, on the History Channel at 9 p.m. Fannie Lou Hamer, An American Refrain special on PBS on Tuesday the 22nd, you guys. And what else do we have? Snowfall coming out on Wednesday the 23rd. There's a situation on Frederick Douglass and 5 Speeches coming out Wednesday, February 23rd on HBO. Law and Order new season on February 24th, Thursday on NBC. Las Bravas on HBO, February 24th, Thursday. What else do we got? We got The Vikings, Valhalla coming out on Netflix on Friday, February 25th. And we have Back to 15, another Netflix series coming out on February 25th as well. And Reno 911 Defunded on the Roku channel. So yeah, we got Reno 911 coming out, you guys, on Friday, February 25th. So what are you guys checking out this week on TV? And what are you guys checking out this week as far as movies that I did not bring up? Let me know what you all think about all this music and television news and new releases in the comments. So we are here at our world news segment, you guys. And this is an interesting week of world news because this week, you guys, I really found so much news dealing on our side of the world, whether we're talking about North or South America. So, of course, we're going to do U.S. news, but when it comes to the world news, too, we're going to be focusing mostly on the islands of South America and a lot of these things over here because there's so much going on our side of the world. And, of course, you guys know there's so much going on the other side of the world, too, with Russia invading Ukraine and all this stuff, but that's across the pond, so we're not going to worry about that today particularly. But I'm not trying to take away from what's going on, but at the same time, it's a lot going on our side. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in world news, and we'll start off first with our U.S. news. So the first thing we have on U.S. news is New York City's mayor pushes to remove homeless people in the subway system. So this is from New York City, you guys. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is making an aggressive push to try to remove homeless people from the city's sprawling subway system, announcing a plan to start barring people from sleeping on trains or riding the same lines all night. The new mayor, at one point likening homelessness to a cancerous sore, said Friday that the city next week would deploy more teams of police officers and mental health workers to the transit network and start enforcing rules more strictly. People tell me about their fear of using the system, and we are going to ensure that fear is not New York's reality, Adams said. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who joined Adams at the subway station Friday to make the announcement, said the city and state can't recover from the devastation of the pandemic until people return to their jobs and ride the subway to get there. She said the state was working to get more psychiatric beds at the hospitals available by increasing the amount of money hospitals receive for having beds. So you guys, when we talk about homelessness in America, it's a lot going on in a lot of places in America, United States rather. And New York is one of the places that has a lot of it. Now, it's also a heavily populated place, and when you look at the history of America, it's one of the places that a lot of people came from when they came from Europe. And it was already heavily populated with the indigenous people that were there. So many people have been displaced. They've moved people from the islands up there. It's just been so much in the course of history. And to be honest, in my opinion, these legislators and governors and mayors and all this stuff, they have nobody to blame but themselves and their historic, entity for bringing this on. There could have been plenty of ways to deal with this probably decades ago before it got to this point, and it's so unfortunate that the homeless people are having to deal with it because you never really know the stories of how people got homeless, but they're having to figure this out now. And if we really talk about ancestral times, and how our ancestors lived, we didn't live like this in the way modern technology was. So, being nomadic, going from place to place on a day-to-day basis and transferring that to modern times of being on a train and moving that way, that is in a way a part of how, humans actually, our human nature to be nomadic in that way and to do that. So I don't feel sorry for New York or none of them. And I really pray for the homeless people that, and then too, a lot of these people are victims of the drug epidemics and everything else that has happened that led to their homelessness. And they pressed about people going to work. They don't even have no jobs that's paying, a living wage up in New York. Now, I do think they have increased their minimum wage and everything, but still, as expensive as New York is, I know it's not nobody can just go work at McDonald's or CVS and pay for everything that they need to pay for. And then they already dang near live in boxes just in the studio 1-bedroom apartments that they live in. So, and they're talking about homeless people. Shoot, if you're able to get a studio or even a room in a brownstone up there, you close to homeless. Now, I ain't gonna say all that. You're not close to homeless, but still, it's just a very weird way of living for me in New York. I'm used to space. I'm used to a lot of things, but ultimately, you guys, I don't feel sorry for what the New York government specifically is having to deal with. So I want you guys to let me know what y'all think about that in the comments, because I think this is just sad. And speaking of homelessness on the East Coast, in one of the most heavily populated and major cities on the East Coast, New York City, let's go ahead and look at what's going on on the West Coast in one of the biggest cities out there, LA, because there's another situation with homelessness over there. So let's look at LA. Homeless crisis, fear of crime shaping LA's mayor election. So the contest to become the next mayor of Los Angeles can be distilled into a single question with no easy answer. Who can fix this mess? Tourists still flock to Hollywood's Walk of Fame. The palm trees soar along Sunset Boulevard, and the Los Angeles Rams are Super Bowl champions. But in many ways, the nation's second most populous city feels diminished. An out-of-control homeless crisis plays out on the streets daily, sometimes with deadly consequences. A rising crime rate, spotlighted by home invasions and smash-and-grab thefts at luxury stores, has contributed to a creeping sense of civic disorder. Miles of streets and sidewalks are crumbling. Sexual harassment and corruption scandals have tainted City Hall 2 years after the start of the pandemic. Many yearn to a return to normalcy that hasn't come. Tellingly, a region once associated with stratospheric growth is losing population in part from frustrated residents deciding a brighter future is somewhere else. So, you guys, the mayors are really having to figure this out. They're battling it out over there, but LA is basically my other home. So, you know, I'm out there a lot, and I can say from firsthand experience, seeing the level of homelessness and me being from the South, I've never seen nothing like what I've seen in LA. And from my understanding, from talking to people in way different parts of California, because California is such a huge state, even all the way up to like the San Francisco, Vallejo area is the same way. Like the rate of homelessness is just ridiculous in California, you guys. I mean, if you've ever been to Skid Row, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, homeless people. I've seen crackheads, coke heads, meth heads lighting up them pipes right on the sidewalk. Like, they don't give a damn. And excuse my language, but they don't care because of the fact that, you know, they have nowhere else to go. I've never seen anything like I've seen in Los Angeles. And I'm sure it's just as bad in New York. But one thing that's a benefit for Los Angeles is that the temperature and the weather is not as unstable as it is over in New York because it's more of a desert atmosphere. So they have more warm times. But people literally, I've heard that people basically have little spots on the sidewalk and they created little driveways because some of these people even have cars. A lot of people even live in their cars in Los Angeles, y'all. It's a crazy world out there. I mean, a crazy world out there. So, you know, the mayors, they gotta figure this out. I don't even know, like, to be honest, if anybody's ever been to LA, and I mean, I'm talking about everywhere. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is definitely homeless people taking dumps and peeing right on the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I've seen this with my own eyes, you guys. It's crazy out in Los Angeles. And like this homelessness thing, and this goes back to what I was saying about human nature and ancestral times. And I think it even more so applies to them because, you know, they was bombarded so recently in history with a lot of colonization because, you know, a lot of the going west in America, a lot of those states didn't get colonized to the late 1800s, early 1900s. They didn't become states. So a lot of those people are really used to living nomadic, indigenous kinds of lives in their bloodline and in their ancestral memory. So people being homeless out there is kind of like a thing. And then it's so much desert and like the places where people can actually live is not that much when you're balancing that with Mother Nature because there's so many mountains and so much desert. The West Coast is very vastly different from the East Coast. They don't have woods that they can go live in. Like, you know, in the South, people, not saying they do, but they probably do. Homeless people can go live in the woods, pitch up tents. But, you know, in most metropolitan areas, the homeless people live amongst the people just in the corners and in the cracks of the world. So, you guys, this is just a really messed up situation with the homelessness. And I don't know what any mayor can do about that, to be honest, but good luck to them. I don't feel sorry for them, and my prayers for the homeless people that have been displaced all over the state of California, but definitely in Los Angeles, and for the people in New York, two of our biggest cities dealing with this. And, you know, everywhere in the United States has homeless people, but those places, be it that they're the most populated, the rate of which is going is just ridiculous, you guys. So, you know, my prayers go out to the homeless people, and I pray that they're able to deal with these things. You know, they're dealing with the drug epidemic on the streets and all these things that's actually going on out there. Also the pandemic, lack of employment, lack of education, all these things, lack of support. It's just really sad, you guys. So my prayers go out to the homeless people. And you guys, let me know, do y'all think it's anything that the mayors of Los Angeles can do, any mayor of Los Angeles can do to fix this situation? I don't think so, but y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Moving right on along to our last piece of U.S. news. A mild U.S. flu season is waning, but is it really over? The winter's mild flu season has faded to a trickle of cases in much of the U.S., but health officials aren't ready to call it over. Since the beginning of the year, positive flu test results and doctors' offices visits for flu-like illnesses are down, but second waves of influenza are not unusual, and some experts said it's possible a late winter or spring surge could be coming. The questions we're asking ourselves now is this it, or is there more to come? Said Lynette Brummer of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. COVID-19 cases have been falling, leading to a decline in mask wearing and behaviors that may have been keeping flu down this winter. As people are less cautious, flu or other respiratory viruses can surge, Brummer said. Indeed, some indicators of flu activity have inched up the last couple of weeks. A count of flu-related hospitalizations in the percent of specimens from patients with respiratory illnesses that test positive for flu. So, you guys, with all the pandemic stuff, I forgot there was a flu. Like, you know, it's almost like I don't know, this is just my opinion. So, you know, this is my opinion. But it's almost like they're saying, well, we gotta switch up with this COVID thing because it's not working, and like, you know, we can't keep this pandemic going forever, so we gotta bring the flu back up. So I don't know, y'all, it just seems really weird to me. This whole article and them even posting about it, because I haven't even heard about the flu. Everything, I mean, anything, you can have a cut on your wrist and went to the doctor and they're gonna say you got say you got corona, like, you know what I mean? So I, like, everything is like, you know, I've even heard that they've been doctoring up death records on death certificates just to make it seem like everybody has. The people that have died in accidents, their deaths have been reported due to, you know, coronavirus. So, like, I don't know, you guys. And like I said, this is all my opinion. I don't know any of these things from any type of facts or to me being in the hospitals and seeing this with my own eyes. So this is all my opinion. YouTube, don't delete me. You know, this is all opinion and all alleged information. But, you know, at the same time, like, you guys, I don't know. Something just seems fishy about this. I don't know. I don't know what to say about the flu situation, because I, like, literally forgot it existed with the way everything's been going with this pandemic. But they're saying it's still out there. So has anybody been dealing with the flu? You know, has anybody been dealing with this? Like, you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment. Do you buy this? Are you seeing any symptoms, or are you seeing these types of things in your community and wherever you are, wherever you're listening from? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Okay, now guys, we're gonna move on to world news. And today, well, this week, I feel like it was a lot more U.S. and world news. So this section is a little longer than normal, just to let you guys know. But there's been a lot going on our side of the world. So let's go ahead and take a look at the world news. And we're still on our side of the world, in North and South America, on our side in the northern and southern hemisphere. So let's start off at the top of the United States, above the United States, at the top of the North America, above the United States. Ottawa crackdown, police arrest 100 after 3-week protests. So it's going down, you guys, in Canada. Police arrested scores of demonstrators and towed away vehicles Friday in Canada's besieged capital, and a stream of trucks started leaving under the pressure, raising authorities' hopes for an end to the 3-week protest against the country's COVID-19 restrictions. By evening, at least 100 people had been arrested, mostly on mischief charges, and nearly 24 vehicles had been towed, including all of those blocking one of the city's major streets, authorities said. One officer had a minor injury, but no protesters were hurt. Interim Ottawa Police Chief Steve Bell said, "Police continue to push forward to take control of our streets," he said, adding, "We will work day and night until this is completed." Those arrested included four protest leaders. One received bail while the others remained jailed. The crackdown on self-styled Freedom Convoy began in the morning when hundreds of police, some in riot gear and some carrying automatic weapons, descended into the protest zone and began leading demonstrators away in handcuffs through the snowy streets as holdout truckers blared their horns. I mean, you guys, these people in Canada are not having this pandemic stuff going on. They want an end to the foolishness right now. They out there. I mean, it's been 3 weeks, you guys, and they're really sitting here. They're trying to arrest people. They probably don't even have enough police officers up in these Canada places to even do any of this. They probably enlisting people from the United States and everything. This is just crazy, you guys. This is really crazy. All this over the pandemic is like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist and I'm not going to go into that, but if this is what the conspiracy theorist says, I really believe the government needs to go ahead and back down, because this is getting crazy. And imagine if these things were to happen on the U.S. side, especially of that Canadian-Michigan border, right there where a lot of these protests were had. Like, we've had protests and things in small waves over here over the past couple of years since the pandemic has been going on, guys. But this is getting crazy. And, maybe this is just another allegation, alleged, speculation and observation of my own, but maybe that's why they're relaxing so many things and saying that it's the end to the pandemic if the conspiracy theorists are right. The United States, they're making legislation like they're calling it end the pandemic, legislations and things like that. All the mask restrictions are being lifted, and it's just interesting, you guys, to see the state of the world. But I'm sure they're not trying to have this stuff that's going on over there happen in the U.S. I'm sure about that, because that would be some other stuff. These Canadians aren't playing, you guys. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comment. Do you all stand in agreement with the Canadian citizens, or are you all on the side of the government sending the police out to arrest all the protesters and have the trucks move? Or is this a cause that you feel needs to be fought for? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Moving on down to South America, you guys. We're gonna go down to Colombia and see what's going on down there. So, locals fret as Colombia to declare hippos invasive species. Alvaro Molino has had his run-ins with the burly bunch of neighbors with disreputable contacts who showed up about a decade ago along the river in front of his house in Colombia's Antioquia province. But he learned to live with them and says he is worried about the government plan he fears could harm them. People around Puerto Triunfo have grown accustomed to the herd of hippopotamuses descended from a few that were imported illegally from Africa in the 1980s by flamboyant drug lord Pablo Escobar, whose former ranch is nearby. Molina, 57, says he supports the hippos even though he is one of the few Colombians that have been attacked by one. He was out fishing one day when he felt a movement beneath his canoe that spilled him into the water. The female attacked me once, the first pair that arrived, because she had recently given birth, he said. So you guys, when I read this, I was thinking to myself, when did hippos get to South America? But as you heard, they kind of grew from the drug lord Pablo Escobar's ranch. So now there's a hippopotamus invasive species situation going on in a certain area of, Colombia. Which I think is interesting because that just goes to show you, don't be moving animals from one place to another because Mother Nature will do her thing. And, you know, now the hippos, they're mad and call them an invasive species and stuff like that now. So, like, you know, I ain't trying to be funny, but the way we just take over Mother Nature, she's going to clap back. The way we just take over all these places as humanity and forget that we are subject to how Mother Nature moves. We don't respect the plants. We don't respect the animals. We don't respect their movement and all this stuff. We displace humans. We displace animals. We displace everything. We'll even uproot a tree and try to go plant it in a different land and it might die. So you know what I mean? I think this is just a shining example of things that happens when you play with Mother Nature. So I personally hope Mother Nature has her revenge through the hippopotamuses. And I hope that no, I ain't gonna hope they overtake Colombia. But, you know, I hope that Mother Nature claps back. And I pray for that the nature is not off balance because of all this. Because, you know, with all the things that they say, like global warming, all these weird hurricanes, the alleged HAARP machines that they control the weather with, the alleged chemtrails that are in the sky, and all the things that they do, we as humanity offset the balance of nature so much. And, you know, I just hope that Mother Nature spares me, but claps back at the rest of humanity that does not respect Mother Nature. So that's just my personal thoughts on it. You guys gotta tell me what you think about all these hippopotamuses and them taking over this area of Colombia, and what you guys think about that in the comments. And for our last piece of world news, we're still down in South America, a little bit lower than Colombia this time. We're down in Brazil. Brazil's deadly mudslide reflects neglect, climate change. So Brazil has been having deadly mudslides, you guys. So, and this is from Rio de Janeiro. The landslide that devastated Petropolis this weekend demolished houses and ripped families apart, scarred hillsides and hearts, left at least 136 dead and more than 200 missing. And it was all largely predictable and to some degree preventable. Rapid urbanization, poor planning, lack of financing, and subsidized housing. All of these things have afflicted this mountain city in Brazil's Rio de Janeiro state. Little has been done in response to repeated warnings about the risk of mountainside construction. Researchers, as well as current and former public servants, told the Associated Press. And with evidence indicating that climate change is causing more intense rainfall, peril has only increased, not just for Petropolis, I guess that's how you say it, but elsewhere as well. More than 1,500 people have died in similar landslides in recent decades in the portion of Serra do Mar range. There have been more than 400 deaths from heavy storms in Petropolis since 1981. Oh, you guys, I mean, it's so much going on in the world, and you know, South America in general, especially Brazil, because it's such a large landmass, houses, I would say, a lot of our clouded areas, because, you know, that's the rainforest, you guys. You know, really they don't like to say it, but North America, especially the southeastern region, we're another rainforest. And, you know, the things that we do in these areas, you guys, is just crazy. And the things that we're doing to affect Mother Nature is just really crazy. Urbanization, you guys, and they're saying that these mudslides were predictable, and all these deaths, just recent, at least 136 dead, which means it's probably more, and more than 200 people missing because of mudslides. That's crazy, guys. Imagine being at home and the land underneath your whole house just slides like you in a car, like your house hydroplanes. That's crazy. Oh my God, you guys, I can't even imagine. My heart goes out to all the people in Brazil, especially the indigenous Arawakian people that have been dealing with this and have tried to push these colonizers out for hundreds of years, for centuries now. And Oh my God, the movement of all these things around the world, and they're dealing with it all over South America. Colombia got these hippopotamuses, Brazil got these mudslides, heavy rain because of the global warming, melting ice caps that we got up in Canada. These people up in the snow sitting up here fighting over a pandemic when they need to be worried about not getting frostbite. It's just so much crazy stuff going on, you guys, in the world. So, on our side of the world, North and South America, you guys, send out some good energy because we really need healing and balance, and we need Mother Nature to come and heal herself, and for the universe to send us healing energy and spare us good humans. And, because, y'all seen the movie Don't Look Up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some asteroid is headed to Earth to end this thing right now, because, this is crazy, you guys. This is really, 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 really crazy. So, you guys, let me know what you think about this situation with the mudslide in Brazil in the comments. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next section. All right, you guys. So we have gotten here to our spiritual perspective segment of the show. We have some interesting things going on in spiritual perspectives. And we're going to start off on From the Headlines. So this week, you guys, it was kind of a slow news week. It was a lot of interesting news, but instead of highlighting some of the things that I've already spoke about for this episode, I actually want to cover 2 additional stories that I saw in the news that I thought were very interesting and I thought had a spiritual perspective to them. So check these out, and you guys let me know what y'all think about this. So the first thing up we have is Tesla faces another U.S. investigation, unexpected breaking. So this came from Detroit. The U.S. auto safety regulators have launched another investigation of Tesla, this time tied to complaints that its cars cannot stop on, the cars can stop on roads for no apparent reason. The government says it has 354 complaints from owners during the past 9 months of phantom braking in Tesla Models 3 and Y. The probe covers an estimated 416,000 vehicles from 2021 and 2022 models. No crashes or injuries were reported, however. The vehicles are equipped with partially automated driver assist features such as adaptive cruise control and autopilot, which allows them to automatically brake and steer within their lanes. Documents posted Thursday by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration say the vehicles can unexpectedly brake at highway speeds. Complaints report that the rapid deceleration can occur without warning and often repeatedly during a single drive cycle, the agency says. Now, you guys, this is just my personal opinion. A lot of people right now, they're fearing, that they can get into a rear end crash on the freeway. That's another thing that the article said. And, this is just my opinion, but in a spiritual perspective, I think we're moving into an age of high technology. But I really don't know if we're there yet. Like, I've been dealing with people having Teslas and hearing about different stories, not even from Tesla, but from electric cars in general, for like the past 6 or 7 years. I've rented an electric car before, and I remember, like, they're great, but, like, it's just not really a foolproof thing. Now, you can run out of gas in a traditional regular car, too. Now, that's different, but electric cars just work a lot differently, you guys. I'm not really convinced by the electric car technology right now, you guys. I'm not. And I think a lot of people, this is my personal observation, in a spiritual perspective, I think a lot of people go in for Tesla really for the look of it, for the flex of it, for the fact that they can look a certain way or be a certain way. Not to say people aren't really truly interested in renewable energy and all those types of things, but I don't think a lot of people get Teslas, at least especially not to me, in my opinion, in the Black community, for the sake of all the things that they claim that they do that are good for the environment. I think they get them to flex, to basically say that they got money or whatever. So I don't, in my opinion, I don't think that we're in the age right now to really be dealing with electric cars because it's just not foolproof. I don't know how it is now, but I remember when I had rented an electric car, I would have to go to the power station. They have free power stations at different places, where you can get free electricity, but then they have a lot of them where you have to pay too. And you have to sit there with your car for like 30 something minutes. I've had people that I know have gone on road trips in their electric cars, Tesla specifically. And, it was just so much going on. They couldn't find a charging station. They couldn't find this and that. They had to sit there forever. It affected their travel time. It's just so much that goes into this, you guys. And I personally don't think that we're to the level right now to have as many electric cars as we do. I just don't think we are. Maybe in about a decade, I think we'll have higher technology to be able to handle electric cars, probably to the same efficiency as we do with traditional gas-based cars. And I'm not for gas cars, or electric cars. I don't rank one over the other, but I do see the benefits of it. But you guys, I think that most people are getting them just for the flex. That's my personal opinion. You guys, I want you to let me know what you think. Are you all planning on getting a Tesla? Are you all planning on dealing with any of this? And for all my Tesla owners, I hope you all aren't experiencing these issues and running into these scares with your car just randomly braking at highway speeds, So be careful out there and let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. And for our second spiritual perspective, you guys, for our second from the headlines in spiritual perspectives, we have another world news topic that I saw in the headlines that I thought I wanted to discuss in this particular portion of the show. Protests grow in Puerto Rico amid demands for higher wages. San Juan, Puerto Rico, this comes from. Shrill whistles mixed with drums, tambourines, and clacking of spoons on pots as public employees shut down streets in Puerto Rico's capital Friday to demand better pay and pensions. The crowd shimmied and clapped, and demonstrators held up signs reading "Fair Wages Now." It's a call that has echoed across Puerto Rico in recent weeks as government employees and supporters take to the streets, emboldened by thousands of public school teachers who abandoned classrooms in early February to demand raises and better pensions. Protests has multiplied and the unrest is posing one of the biggest challenges for government. And for Governor Pedro Pierluisi, a year into his term. The people kicked the U.S. military out of Vieques. They kicked out a governor. We can make this happen, said Abner Dumi, who teaches history in the northern town of Naranjito. Legislators are the only public workers who have an automatic cost of living increase for their salaries. Most of the U.S. territories, other public employees have not gotten pay raises in more than a decade, sometimes two, as the cost of living has risen and the island has suffered a lengthy economic crisis and government bankruptcy in the aftermath of deadly hurricanes, earthquakes, and the pandemic. Now, you guys, what's interesting to me is if you look on a map, go to your Apple Maps if you're using an iPhone or an Apple device, or go to whatever it is y'all use, Android phones, to look at a map of the U.S. and the world, and go look at the island of Puerto Rico. And you guys, that's such a small island. It's just so crazy to me that all this is going on, especially with them being regulated by the U.S. I just think it's a shame that it's just been so many things that the indigenous Taino and Arawakian people that lived there prior to Columbus and all these things, that what they've endured, and now an island that small, they can't even afford to live. People that are from there, they can't even afford to live there. And the only people getting pay raises is legislators. That sounds so crazy, you guys. But at the same time, I also feel like the people owe it to themselves to find, there's such a small country that they can find a way to unify and do things themselves. Why don't they leave the education system? They grow a lot of crops in Puerto Rico. There's so many things that can happen down there. What my prayer is for the Puerto Rican, the Taino, the Arawaki, and the people that are indigenous to that area that are going through this, that they find a way to unify on their island and find ways to go around the U.S. government and the legislators to provide for themselves. They just need to all lead the system, I think. All together, not pay taxes, not do everything they kicked out governors, they saying they kicked out this, they did all this. Well, go ahead and take over the schools, start your own community school systems and things like that. I think that there's more that can be done, but it's the scare tactics of the United States military and all that comes along with being in that region. So you guys, I just think this is very interesting, and it's heartbreaking to know that this is going on in such a small place. We deal with these types of things across a whole entire landmass, and they have a landmass too, but it's so small and they're dealing with so much. So I encourage the people of Puerto Rico to come together and find a way to rid themselves of all this foolishness that's going on, and I believe that they truly can. So that's my prayer for the people of Puerto Rico. So you guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments, and let me know what you guys think should happen with all this going on in Puerto Rico right now. Alright guys, so let's move on to the next portion of Spiritual Perspectives, which is meme analysis. I have three interesting quotes. I guess you can consider them memes too. Some of them have the pictures in them as well. So let's take a look here and see what's going on with these. So first up, we have the title meme, which is on obviously the video picture. And it says, too many people think the grass is greener somewhere else, but the grass is green where you water it. Remember that. Too many people think the grass is greener somewhere else, but the grass is green where you water it. Remember that. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people go from situation to situation thinking that not dealing with certain people or ending a relationship or quitting a job meant that things were going to be better or somehow get better, only for them to have, pseudo versions of betterness, I guess you can say. You have to remember that the grass is greener where you water it. Some people go from situation to situation thinking the grass is going to be greener on the other side, but you're the one that needs to change. You're the one that needs to be watered. You are the one that needs the energy to shift the things actually to happen. But so many people go from situation and place to place. Things might get a little bit better. They might get a nicer house. They might get some more gadgets. They might, get some new furniture. But at the end of the day, things just aren't better. Things are just still in a certain way because of how these people are. So they don't water the grass, and they wonder why things don't get better. They always blame things on other people, saying people curse them, people wish them bad luck. Everything and everybody else is the issue for their problem except for them. And a lot of these people revert into a childish mind state, and they act just like they were when they were children. And it's kind of actually sad. It's real sad. So, you guys got to tell me what you all think about this meme. Do you think the same thing that this meme is trying to express? Because I definitely do. I definitely think that the grass is greener where you water it, and that has a lot to do with you. So let me know what you guys think about this meme in the comments. So the next quote meme we have up is, the strongest ones bleed in silence, have no one applauding their growth, have no one watching their healing process. They bloom in silence. Wow. I definitely can relate to this one. I definitely feel this way. And you know, I've noticed this with a lot of people that I look up to and that I watch their stories, and even people that I haven't particularly met, when I watch stories of great leaders, people that are really inspirational, they've had this, like, you know, they bleed in silence, they heal their wounds in silence, you know, they never, at the times where they was really growing and doing the things that they needed to, no one was around cheering them on and applauding their growth. Of course, they probably had one or two supportive people that knew. And then it says no one was watching their healing process. They bloom in silence. Everybody is so busy trying to post about everything and just be out here trying to advertise and showcase whatever it is that they're going through, but everything isn't for everybody. I think this is something that people can learn. The strongest ones, they bleed in silence. You know, nobody's out here trying to play a victim. You know, everybody has had traumatic experiences, but not everyone chooses the role of victimhood. Not to victim blame, but you know, some people go within themselves because, you know, we have the inner universe and the outer universe. The outer universe reflects, in my perspective, what's going on the inside. So sometimes to heal, you have to go within. You can't have anyone watching your growth and applauding your growth or watching your healing process. Or, you know, when you bleed and when you're wounded, you go and you tend to yourselves. Like, you know, I'm sure people have seen hurt animals or hurt dogs go and struggle on their own until they can heal back. You know, I remember I seen dogs, like, you know, they were obviously wounded, but they had to just go deal with it themselves, you know. And it's unfortunate in the animal kingdom, many of them die, but that's kind of the nature of the way things go. So, but when it comes to this, they bloom in silence, and then next thing you know, they pop out of nowhere and everything's great. So, you know, I really can relate to this meme. I really can relate to this quote, and I definitely can say that I agree with it. What about you guys? Do you all agree with this quote? Let me know what you all think about this one in the comments. And the last meme that we have is, the funny thing is when you don't let people disrespect you, they start calling you difficult. And this is a quote allegedly by Tom Hardy. You know, people can post these things, by the way, and just put a name at the bottom. And we don't know if they really made it or if that was the originator of the quote. But I've definitely heard this in many different ways. The funny thing is when you don't let people disrespect you, they start calling you difficult. Now, I definitely can understand this, and I definitely can relate to it. Now, I will say there is a fine line because, you know, some people consider everything disrespect. Like, you know, some people don't allow people to be who they are, and the way that people are is disrespectful to them. But that could simply be the way they are. They might not know any better, and it's not that they're even trying to be disrespectful. So disrespect is a subjective thing. I'm not gonna take that away from that aspect of disrespect. There's some people go a little bit overboard with the aspect of disrespect, but when it comes to just regular human decency, I think we do live in a world where there is a lot of people that are disrespectful. They cannot at least allow people to be themselves or understand people or allow people to be what it is that they are. And, you know, people will disrespect you, limit you, try to cage you, try to put you in a box, all these things. And when you don't allow that, they will start calling you difficult. You know, I've experienced this in a lot of different ways, you know, at work, at play, with people that, you know, I consider friends, acquaintances, things like that. So I can definitely relate to this. They do start calling you difficult, you know, when you don't let people disrespect you. And then, you know, on the flip side, I feel like people that just are yes men and say yes to everything and allow everything to happen, they're the ones that have a lot of different issues on the other side of the spectrum. Instead of people calling you difficult when you're a yes man, you just are being used up and your energy is being completely depleted and drained because you don't know how to put a stop to things that might be considered disrespectful going on around you. So this is an interesting perspective, you guys. That's what I think about it. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that when you don't let people disrespect you, they start calling you difficult? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Moving right on along to our next section, we have our astrology section. And first and foremost, let's say happy Pisces season. Happy Pisces season to all my Pisces sun people out there. We are now in the light of Pisces. We have left the light of Aquarius and we are in our first few days in the light of Pisces. So the sun is in Pisces season. So let's talk a little bit about the attributes of Pisces. Pisces, their ego and individuality can be artistic, charitable, creative, dedicated, dreamer, humble, imaginative, impressionable, idealistic, introvert, mystical, peaceful, serious, spiritual, and timid. On the dark side, they can often be careless, escapist, and indecisive at the same time. So those are some attributes about the Pisces that we know of. Some of the professions associated and properties associated with it, like the color, the gem, the metal, and the plant, is poets is a good profession for Pisces, photographer, a healer, or a director. The color for Pisces is sea green. The stone for Pisces, or the metal, is amethyst. The stone for Pisces is amethyst. The metal for Pisces is zinc. And the herb for Pisces is nutmeg. The ruling planet for Pisces constellation is Neptune, which is coincidental because Pisces has been in Neptune for a while now, you guys. So we've all been experiencing the Piscean Neptune energy. So the Pisces home planet of Neptune comes from the Pisces constellation. The energy of Neptune comes from the Pisces constellation. So Pisces are very beautiful people. They're very spiritual. They have an interesting energy. And of course, we all have our light and dark sides, but I'm just speaking to the light of Pisces. And I just want to wish all my Pisces people a happy birthday right now. And know that you guys are definitely loved and appreciated. And let's go ahead and take a look to see what's going on in these first few days of Pisces now that we're here. So, of course, the sun is in Pisces. So, everybody's kind of experiencing the Piscean energy right now. People are feeling very creative. We're also coming off the full moon. So, people are in a creative headspace. Sometimes, as with the Piscean energy, though, we have to not be as humble to a fault. And this comes with our Neptune energy, which Neptune has been in Pisces for a while. So this is something I've been saying for a few weeks now. We can't be too humble to a fault because sometimes that can be our downfall. Also remember, Jupiter is in Pisces as well. So it has a lot to do with our fortune and the things that we attract to bring us luck. So remember that in all your endeavors right now with the sun in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces, don't be too humble to a fault that you are being naive or being bamboozled by anybody. So keep that in mind, because with the Piscean energy very heavy and very afloat right now, that can be something that we deal with, being too impressionable and too humble sometimes. You don't have to be humble to everybody. Remember that, all my Pisces, as you move forward into this season. So we have the Piscean energy, so that's what's going on with the sun. And the moon is in my home constellation of Libra, which the moon moves very quickly, so it's been in Libra right now. So that's a good thing to balance out the sun in Pisces and the onset of Piscean energy. You can have a lot more balanced thought. You will be charming and affable, especially in your undercurrent. So these are things that are going to be in your undercurrent with the Libra energy. You're going to think a lot right now with the moon being in Pisces. You're going to be idealistic, but sometimes indecisive because of the balance aspect of Libra. You're going to be thinking a lot. So try not to, on the undercurrent, try not to think too hard about a lot of things. Let things, think about them and let things mull over the things that you need to mull over, but move forward. Take the Piscean energy and move forward with it. So we got a lot of air energy right now because Mercury is in Aquarius. So when it comes to the way that we're communicating and when it comes to our conscious mind and all those types of things, we're dealing with the Aquarian energy right now because Mercury is in Aquarius. So, we're being friendly, but try not to be too cutthroat with your communication right now. Right now, we can be unpredictable with the things that we say. However, and you know, well, we can still be unique with it, but it's unpredictable and can in some ways be rebellious, but still logical, but still a little eccentric. So watch the way you're communicating with people right now, because the Mercury and Aquarius energy is coming through very heavy. Venus and Mars have been in Capricorn for a little minute, you guys. They was there for the past 2 weeks, so we're still dealing with the practicality of the Capricorn constellation being in our love affairs. So, you know, we can be a little stubborn when it comes to certain things. Make sure you're balancing that out. We have a lot of the air and the water energy kind of balancing the earth energy out. We don't have any fire signs on the chart right now, but we got that but Capricorn is bringing enough energy from the earth place for Venus and Mars. So, you know, we're dealing with a lot of the Capricorn energy being realistic and responsible and sometimes rigid. So when it comes to the way that we take action on things, our aggressive tendencies, and in our love life and the way we attract things to us, try not to be too overbearing. Try not to be too frustrated seeming or pessimistic as well, because those are some dark sides of Capricorn energy. So try to balance that out with our air energy, the opposite of Earth, from our moon and our Mercury being in Libra and Aquarius. So Jupiter has been in Pisces for a little minute, so we still have the same thing going on with our luck and fortune. So be sure to refer to any of my past 2 podcasts. You can click directly down in the description on the astrology reading, and I talk a lot about Venus and Mars both being in Capricorn and Jupiter being in Pisces. Saturn has actually, most of the outer planets haven't really moved much. Saturn's still in Aquarius. We're still dealing with those things with our life cycles and just our learning curves in life, you know, understanding our actual events that have led us to the things that we're in Saturn, you know, when we operate within the limitations of society and things that obstruct us. So it's still in the Aquarian energy. We're coming to a lot of realisms about where we are. Uranus is still in Taurus, so our individuality is we're still trudging forward with our individuality, you guys. So, you know, make sure you're keeping that balanced out. Don't be too possessive right now with the things that you think about. Don't be too self-indulgent, because with Uranus and Taurus right now, that could be very much so an energy right now. So try to balance it out with our air energy, because we got a lot of earth energy going on right now, even though we kind of have a good mix. We got, you know, 4 earth signs, 3 air signs, and 3 water signs, which all happen to be Pisces. No fire right now, though, interesting enough. So we have no fire energy really, you know, invoking us. We're living really in the emotional water world, the intellectual air world, and the practical earth world. So we have a lot of that going on. Neptune is still in Pisces. I spoke a little bit about that earlier, and I spoke about it in the last podcast. And of course, Pluto, our generational planet, is still in Capricorn. So all of our babies and all of our kids right now being born into Pluto are going to have that Capricorn energy. They're going to be serious with it as they get older. So just remember that as we continue to move forward with everything. This is a beautiful start to Piscean energy. We have the earth in its complement with the water, so we have a lot of the feminine energy coming through, but we're also having a lot of intellectual energy coming through with the air about understanding and the way we're communicating and trying to balance out our emotional life. You know, as a Pisces right now, and just being in the Piscean energy, we won't be too emotional right now with the moon being in Libra, but we will feel some kinds of ways, you know what I mean? We're gonna feel some kind of ways, but how we express it is gonna be very interesting right now. So keep all those things in mind. Also, when it comes to the moon calendar, you guys, we had the full moon on the 16th and 17th, so I hope everybody harnessed that energy and did with it anything that they could, because the moon had been waxing for a while, creating the full moon. So we have a lot of beautiful moon energy, and the moon is in Libra right now. So now we're coming into the waning moon, so we're cooling down off of a lot of those things. So we're working on preservative energy with the moon cycle right now. So we're doing things to rebuild and to heal ourselves and to just recuperate from the energy we expelled as the moon built up to the full moon. The new moon will be around March the 2nd, March the 3rd. So we'll be dealing with starting new projects, starting a new burst of energy towards the things that we do with the moon waxing. So we're doing healing rituals right now with the moon cycle. We're doing things to recuperate and to rejuvenate right now that we're in the waning moon phase. The waning crescent moon will be around the 23rd. So if you have any rituals to do around that specific time, make sure you're keeping up, because the time the moon is moving, you know, the moon moves very fast. So be sure to go to my previous episodes and check out the astrology readings, because there's a lot of different information. I definitely highlighted Aquarius season while we were in Aquarius, and now we're in Pisces. So I'll be talking a lot about Pisces for the next few weeks, you guys. So keep that in mind. So happy birthday once again to all my Pisces, and we're going to go ahead and end there. So let me know what you guys think about all this, if you're experiencing any of the Piscean energy and the accompanying energies wherever the planets are right now in the comments. And lastly, for today's episode, we are at our energy reading portion of the episode. And what we're going to do is go ahead and read from my cards for Inner Ascension, created by my soul sister, Sunny Patterson. A card deck of affirmations. We're going to see what the spirit guides has for everybody today, going into next week, and to see what the universe is telling you all to affirm as we go into the next week. Our next week of the last week of February in Pisces season. So the card that came out today was, I am capable of doing hard tasks. I am capable of doing hard tasks. I believe this card has came up before since we've been doing the podcast, you guys, so it's come up again. Apparently we need a new reminder, because things have gotten a little tough, I would say, for a lot of people. I can tell just from the planetary energy that we've been reading, just from also reading with the spirit guides, and also just dealing with the clients that I've been dealing with, that we have to remember this. We need to affirm this right now. I am capable of doing hard tasks. There are things that are befalling us right now that, you know, we wanted these things, we prayed for them, we asked for them, we wanted all the benefits that come with them, but it could be overwhelming right now. That's the energy that I'm picking up from the spirit guides. It's an overwhelming thing right now. And one thing we need to know is that we are capable of doing hard tasks. We have to remember that at this particular junction right now. Not only are we capable of doing hard tasks, but the more we move forward into the hard tasks, what we'll realize is that the task isn't as hard as we thought, but there's also always the initial learning curve to being able to do whatever task is at hand. So as we go into the next week with the things that come before you, you need to affirm this daily and remember that you are capable of doing hard tasks, because there are going to be some things to challenge you, whether it's personal, whether it's at work. But you need to know whether it's something personal, whether it's a situation, whether it's coping with something, whatever it may be, you are capable of doing hard tasks. Repeat that to yourself as an affirmation and a mantra, even if you have to do it for 3 minutes in the mirror looking at yourself, so you can understand that you are capable of doing hard tasks. So that is the message from the spirit guides for the week from the cards for Inner Ascension. Now go forward and do likewise. All right, guys. Well, that about wraps up our show for today. We've had a lot of interesting topics to talk about, a lot of world news. We're celebrating Pisces season just starting. It's a lot going on in the celebrity world, but also even more going on around the world, especially on our side of the world. So this was an interesting show today. It's been an interesting past week. And, you know, I just want to keep you guys encouraged through all the craziness that's going on right now. Stay encouraged, stay up. Know that you can do all the things that you put your mind to. Harness the energies that are going on right now. Just remember all the things that are going on right now. And remember that you can accomplish and achieve all things that you want to achieve with the power that you have within yourself. So just remember that as we move forward, you guys. It's been a wonderful show today. I had a good time talking to you guys and sharing these things with you guys. And I just want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe and ring the bell for post notifications. Schedule your reading, like I said earlier in the show. Don't forget about my station head that's coming soon. And we will definitely get up with you guys next time on the next episode of Oba Omi Says. Oba Omi over and out.